Hello and welcome to the Social Newsroom. My name is Kate Trera. Thank you for watching us on all our socials. Today, we speak to the 14th Chief Justice and, of course, former Chief Justice David Maraga. We're going to be discussing judiciary, the rule of law and its position in Kenya. Of course, we expect your comments and, of course, your questions to come in on our social media, so we kindly ask you to put them in. But today, we're going to be having a riveting and candid conversation surrounding those topics. Welcome to the show, Mr. Chief Justice.
Thank you.
Of course, we have to start, of course, on a philosophical note. Kenya is crafted as a democracy within independent institutions. In your estimation, of a scale of maybe 1 to 10, how close are we to having a fully independent judiciary?
On a scale of
1 to 10.
1 to 10.
Yes.
We are around 4.
4 is quite on the lower side.
Yes. Because of the way the judiciary has been handled.
Yes.
There are very many things that it should be facilitated, and it is not.
Yeah.
As a result of that, it is not able to perform as required by the Constitution.
With such a low rate of numbers, noting that you are the 14th Chief Justice and you actually sat at the helm of the judiciary, what are the things that we could look at to improve the independence of the judiciary, even with the changing of governance or political leaders every other 5 years?
The major handicap of the judiciary is financial autonomy. That has been given by Article 73. But the government has studiously refused to accord the judiciary financial autonomy. As a result of that, the judiciary is not able to perform its functions as it should. When I say, they're performing at about 4%,
yeah.
It's not because of the personnel. It is because of the resources that it doesn't have. It is because of the facilities that it doesn't have. You get courts sitting in... we are stretched short from a tent. We lost a great legal officer to criminality.
Yes.
And I don't think that lady would have died if she was sitting in a courtroom.
In a safe environment.
Yes.
Let's go back to 2022. The Judiciary Fund was operationalized. And I need to understand and would like to understand, because you are at the seat itself in the helm of judiciary. How significant is this on the journey that we're on? How significant was the Judiciary Fund, and has it been used properly so far?
Yes. You need to understand that how that Judiciary Fund came about. Because the judiciary makes orders against the government, the authors of our constitution. So it fit that it is important that the judiciary be given its fund. Look at the budget. The budget that the country has. 3 trillion. Is it 4 now? Yes, 4 trillion. And they will look at what is going to the judiciary. Hardly 25 billion shillings. That is change. And that's why the Constitution demanded that the entire judiciary fund should be deposited in the judiciary fund account as soon as the budget is approved. That way, the judiciary is able to, plan its affairs and serve the people as it is supposed to serve. So, operationalizing it last year, or is it 2022?
Yes, 2022.
Is something that I thought about that for the rest of the time I was in the judiciary.
Yes.
As CJ.
Yeah.
Look how long it has taken for it to be operationalized. But you need to know that the amount has not been deposited there. The judiciary has still to go through the treasury every time to get treasury releases.
The fact that it has to go through so much rigorous approval, could we say that political alignment could be one of the causes as to why it struggles for the Judiciary Fund to be independent?
Of course, yes. If there was political will, that is something which would be done in a day. In a day, as I said, the budget of the judiciary compared with the national budget is changed. To have that budget deposited there is not a big deal. So it's a question of having the correct political will to have that autonomy given to the judiciary.
During your tenure of as Chief Justice, there was a big rift between politically and the judiciary. And as we look at the judiciary right now, we don't see the same. Do you believe that if the judiciary starts, standing in line with any government that comes in, we will be able to deliver, because it's looking like the only option at this time? Because we saw the changes between before 2022 and now. There have been a little bit of difference, especially in the court system.
I don't want you to compare my tenure with my successor. Everybody has his own or our own style of work. Mine, because of the decisions I made. You remember the 2017 decision. You remember my advisory to dissolve parliament. I mean, not many people were happy with me, though especially those in the government. So I had to fight for those rights, for the judiciary to be able to be accorded.
Yes.
To say that you need to talk well with the executive to have that is an illusion. The executive will never be happy, even if you talk with them well.
Yes.
Unless you are going to rule in their favor, even when you are supposed not to rule in their favor. So it is because of that the judiciary fund was set.
Yes.
And that's what the Kenyans should all ask to be done, and we will have an independent institution.
You've mentioned one of your unprecedented rulings, and one of it was the 14-day notice to the president to dissolve the parliament because of the 2/3 gender rule. Take us back to that ruling, and what was your analysis at that time?
The gender rule has been there since 2010.
Yes.
With the Constitution.
Yes.
And the provisions were that within 5 years of the promulgation of the Constitution, some of those things had to be aligned with the Constitution. It was not being done. There were 8 petitions before me requiring that I advise the president to dissolve parliament. That is a provision given to the Chief Justice alone.
Yes.
And I had to, when I listened to the petitions, I gave a chance to the government to respond. They responded, and I made my ruling. It made a statement. I knew even when we were making that statement that it was perhaps not going to be complied with.
Yes.
But all the same, I made the advisory, and I believe it is a strong statement that every government thinks or says it is going to implement. Yeah. But saying is different from implementing. Thank you.
Do you feel how far do you think we are to achieving the 2/3 gender rule in Kenya right now, from then till now, 2025?
We haven't gotten there yet.
Yes.
We haven't gotten there yet. Other countries have, because they have come with the legislation that enables the two genders to participate in the political arena and also be elected to representative positions. So a lot still needs to be done. But as I said, it requires political will.
Yes.
Political will, and the activists like where we have just come from should continue hammering those facts so that the government can act on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
There was a recent petition by Ahmed Nasir as well as Wakili Nelson Havi of the dissolution of the Supreme Court. A very big statement. Seeing that you have been one of the judges on the bench of the Supreme Court, what do you think of such a big petition to have it dissolve altogether because they believe it is not being independent? Do you feel like this is valid? Does it make sense? And can it work for the country moving forward?
That's a matter which is pending in court.
Yes.
And I wouldn't want to express a view on a matter like that one. Let us leave it until it is decided. Then people can make comments about it.
Okay. Thank you for that. Let's go a little bit political. I know you were able to see the events of June 2024. First of all, what are your thoughts seeing the Gen Z movement, a lot of youth join the streets to fight for what is actually theirs last year?
I have talked about it already in my keynote speech this morning in this festival. The youth are telling the country that, look, you are ignoring us. We have a right to be here. We have a right to access resources. We have a right to access education. We have a right to access health. We have a right to access all the facilities that are supposed to be there as anybody else. The country is not listening. The leadership is not listening to that. And I think it is important that we listen to what our youths are saying. We don't do it, they will do it, and they will find any means of achieving that. Deceiving ourselves that you can ignore the youths, it's not going to work. The youth are set. The way I understand them, they are set to achieve their rights. They don't want to picket if they can help it. But if they are not being listened to, they have no any other alternative but to do that.
One of the reasons that the youth were on the street was, of course, to oppose the Finance Bill 2024. We do understand that the making of some of these laws in either Parliament or suggested by any members of Parliament might not involve the judiciary at times, because the judiciary comes in interpretation and implementation. Do you believe that it is about time that even the judiciary participates in some of this making of these laws? Because we feel like they did not participate fully. Is it about time we change the way this is done so that we can see more involvement of the judiciary and the people of Kenya in some of these laws that are being introduced?
Thank you. The judges occupy a unique position.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that the judiciary as an institution should be involved in the legislative process, other than, of course, their views being sought on an individual basis. Why?
Okay.
Because if Parliament goes ahead and enacts a legislation which is unconstitutional, the judiciary is supposed to pronounce itself on it.
Yes.
It cannot do that if it has been, as an institution, been involved in its formulation. So, and that's what it means by the separation of powers.
Yes.
The legislature is supposed to understand how to go its affairs, to know that before you pass an important legislation, you have got to help public participate in it and give their views. So if it doesn't, it is now the judiciary to pronounce itself on it. So that's why I said the judiciary cannot come, for example, and go to Parliament and begin arguing. Go to parliamentary committees and begin arguing what should be done. I mean, there are people who are going there. There are lawyers who are in private practice who have a right, and they go there. So the judiciary, as judges especially, and magistrates, they should not be seen in the formulation of policy and legislation. As a process, their part comes when the act has been enacted, and they are to pronounce themselves whether or not it's constitutional.
Okay, thank you for that. Ms. Maraga, I'm sure you're aware that many people, especially the youth on social media and across all platforms, are looking for a potential presidential candidate. And your name has really come up in a lot of the polls. Do you have a message for the youth who are already happy with your presidential bid that you have put out?
Yes, my message to the youth is that this is a golden opportunity. They should themselves be involved in the process, starting with the registration of persons so that they get IDs. And then when the registration of voters starts, they should be registered. The only way to champion their rights is to vote, and vote for a candidate of their choice who is going to champion their causes.
I find that very inspiring for a lot of youth to know that they have to participate. One of the notes you gave out today was that the youth have to create their own table to be able to participate in this elections and in this way forward for the country. Are you willing to work with some of the youth in your team and even, in the creation of your government so that at least we can actually see the big quote that the future is for the youth now happening with your governance? Are you willing to work with the youth, and are you already working with some of them?
The youth should be, should not only vote.
Yes.
I needed to add.
Yeah.
They should not only vote. They should also come up and seek elective positions, because that is the only way their voices can be properly heard. So it is important that they participate. I would be very happy to work with them, and I don't see an issue. When we are at this age, we must have some kind of transition.
Okay.
I am over 70. There are youths there who are coming. If we are working with them, I must understand and realize that a time is coming when I will not be able to be in office. Who do we leave to take office? They should be the people who have been involved and who are also interested in the affairs of the country. That's what it means by governance, involving everyone, so that those who retire, as they retire, they don't leave a vacuum. They leave a state which they have nurtured the youth to take over leadership.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Inspiring words from the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. David Maraga. And of course, as we wrap up, thank you so much for watching the Social Newsroom. This is your political stance. Thank you.